Framed Up with the boy Mark the Mentor. Are you ready to take your trucking business to the next level? With Trucks.pro, you get access to the best load board in the game, giving you the tools to find higher paying loads and streamline your operation. And right now, you can try the Pro plan free for 30 days, a $159 value. Click the link in the description to claim your free Pro plan and start making smarter moves for your trucking business today.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
Sweet.
Morning. Good morning. What time is it? Good morning, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Make sure you guys come on in, click that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. Sunday morning. What's this? November 3rd. How's everybody doing? Ooh, it's light in here. Sunday morning live streams are always light because everybody likes to watch football. But it's okay. We're going to get to it because this is something I wanted to talk about now because I got another live stream planned for this evening. So we're gonna get this one out the way now. So let's get this roll call. And we'll get it out the way because I do got some stuff. I got to make some runs, run some errands so I can make sure I'm on time for tonight's stream after football goes off. All right. Shout out to Transportation Boys. Shout out to everybody that's part of the MGM gang. Shout out to Sharks World. What's going on? Goat Logistics. Shout out to Pippi. Shout out to all the moderators. It's D Walt, Kyle the exec. What's going on? Young Juvie just became a member. Shout out to Young Juvie for just becoming a member.
Sweet.
Shout out to Dave. What's going on? Who else we got in the building? All for one. Long time no see. Dr. Anthony representing the crib. Pyro Brothers representing MIAO. Shout out Rich Jew representing the crib. Shout out to Jonathan representing the Boogie Down Bronx. Snooty, what's going on? Son of Light, what up? Running Warrior, what's going on? Appreciate you. I think Running Warrior is from Chicago too, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to Running Warrior. Shout out to Jay Stokes, what's going on? Pippi, everybody in the building. Appreciate you guys for coming back. All right, so here we are. You know, Mark loves a good debate. Mark loves, just having good business conversations. Even if we disagree, it's healthy. It gives me an opportunity to exercise my brain. And this is what we're doing. So yesterday we did a live stream. We did a couple live streams yesterday. We spent a lot of time live streaming yesterday. About 9 hours in total between two different live streams. The first live stream I did was about 4 hours and some change. The second live stream I did was about 5 hours and some change, all right, which went way into the wee hours of the night. Time went back, and surprisingly, I held an audience all through the night. So it was an interesting live. It went on for a very long time. Shout out to Kenneth, who participated in that second live. Shout out to it was Ashley who sponsored that live stream. Appreciate her. Don't know who she is. I don't think I've ever seen her in my chat, but she definitely came through and sponsored that live stream last night. So shout out to her. But the first live stream I did, which was the call-in show, episode 2, season 2, there was a young man. He was 24. I believe he was from Alabama, who came up. We were talking logistics, and then I forgot how, because I haven't went back and watched the replay. But he got to talking about his job and the company and the demands and things of that nature. And I disagreed with him. And the reason why I disagreed with him is because of the points that he was trying to make for why he felt the way he felt about the company. And basically what I was articulating is, he brought up taxes, and the way he brought it up, it had nothing to do with what his argument was. And then he brought up overtime, and he said something, and only thing Big Mark did was correct him. That's all I did. Was like, man, after 8 hours, you shouldn't. He said that he felt you should get overtime. I'm like, no, you shouldn't. Overtime It's 40 hours. This is a federal law. You got to work 40 hours. You could work an extra 2-3 hours for 4 days, and that's not going to give you overtime. You could feel like you should be paid more, but the law states otherwise. The law states that overtime is paid a time and a half after 40 hours. That's all I said. I I disagreed, and I articulated my disagreement with fact. And not only did I articulate it, I pulled it up on the screen. All right. Here's the problem, especially with people who are aspiring to be business owners. And I think a lot of people that are business owners will attest to what I'm saying, because I did see it's like 2 people in the chat that, were in favor of his argument, and then majority of the people, were opposed. It was some back and forth, but it has spilled into the comment section. And this is still the one main person who was leading the charge, who wanted to support the young man's claim. Me, I'm not the type of person who's going to support something that's wrong. I'm not going to agree with it no matter what you say and how you feel, because if your argument is based on feelings, then business doesn't care about your feelings. I say it all the time. Business doesn't care about feelings. The business don't care about your son's soccer game. The business don't care about your wife and having breast cancer, and she's in the hospital. The business don't care that your girl or your BM or your wife is in labor and about to have a baby. The business don't care nothing about that. Only thing business wants to do is what? Make money. That's it. And that's all. The only thing the business cares about is making money. Feelings don't got nothing to do with business. So where the misconception is with people who aspire to become business owners that aren't business owners yet, that still work company jobs for corporations, they don't understand what it's like to be on the other side of the coin. You're seeing it one-sided. When you get on the other side of the coin, you're going to look at it completely different. All right. So what I want to talk about briefly, and I want to give some examples, and I'm going to use myself as a case study. I'm going to give you examples, and I'm going to replay a situation where one of my employees felt the same way until he got in my shoes. He looked at me the same way that young man is looking at his job until he got in my shoes. All right. So the reality of business demands and performance expectations. People work jobs. It's common to be frustrated. I've had jobs. I had jobs when I was in college. I had jobs after college. And yes, I was frustrated. The job has high expectations from you. And employees feel that companies push them too hard, expecting to meet high standards that seem unreasonable. Right? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Turn on all post notifications. But the mindset, I'm telling you, to all the people out there who work at companies that want to and aspire to be entrepreneurs, that mindset is going to shift drastically when those roles reverse. Why? Because business operates by number. Business don't operate off feelings. It operates off of numbers. It don't operate off feelings. Everything that young man said, even the person who was arguing his claim yesterday in the chat, he's in the chat now. He's in the chat. Oh, this the 24 year? All right, here. No. Come on up. I'm gonna drop the link because I want to continue this conversation, because you got somebody that's going back and forth all yesterday, still this morning in my comment section. So I want you to come up, and I just want to have a conversation with you. Because we couldn't finish the conversation, and I really didn't get a chance to articulate what you were saying and why you should look at it from the other side of the coin as an older entrepreneur that has walked through the shoes that you look to aspire to go through, to give you examples on why you see things the way you see them versus the way people are going to look at you the same way that you're looking at your boss. The decisions that you're going to have to make, the decisions that you feel like are being placed on you, you're going to place those same things on other people. So come on up and I'm going to let you talk. I'm going to let you articulate yourself. But here, we ain't debating Cardi V versus Nicki Minaj. We're not debating if Little Dirk is coming home. See, all that stuff don't matter. What we're talking about is educational, it's business related, and we have two different viewpoints. But maybe, just maybe, if you, I'm gonna let you articulate yourself, but then let me explain something to you too. And you may see it from my side of the coin. You may not. But it's okay to have a conversation. You don't have to walk away. You don't have to run away. Link is pinned to the top of it. No, is it pinned? Is it pinned? Hold on. Is it pinned? Here you go. Let's pin it. Let's make it easy for you. What did he say? Hey, Mark. Let me pull it up because I didn't read it all. Hey, Mark, this is the 24-year-old. When is the next call-in show? I'm going to explain to you. We don't got to wait till the next call-in show because this show is a continuation off of yesterday. This live stream, this talking point, is based on you because there's one person, and I think it's you that's in the comment section that's acting in third person, like you're defending you, but it's really you. So now it's the time to come up. I'm going to let you get your thoughts off. And then I'm going to explain to you, you're an aspiring business owner, why the way you're looking at it is one-sided, and you're going to look at things totally different when you get on the other side of the coin. All right, link pinned to the top of the chat. Now I ain't even got to go through my lecture. I could just go through my lecture directly with you. Link pinned to the top of the chat. But I'll continue until you click the link. Business operates off numbers. It don't operate off feelings. When you're running a business, your focus should be on revenue. So when you're working for a company, their focus isn't on how you feel. They're looking to get a certain level of productivity, and they're going to push you as hard as they can and as far as they can to increase revenue. We want productivity. We want productivity. Link is pinned to the top of the chat, strictly logistics. You don't got to waste your time working your fingers. Just click the link and we can have a conversation. Like, this ain't an argument. It ain't really even a debate. It's really a conversation from two different points of view. That's it. You aspire to be a business person. You said you want to come into business. You want to be the next JB Hunt. You want to be the next Schneider. Let's get through it. I love this. This is what I like. This is what we don't see in the space. What's going on, young brother?
What's up with it, man? What's up?
Why you run yesterday, big dog? The pressure was getting to you.
Listen.
Was it getting to you, big dog?
No, it wasn't it, man. I just feel like you didn't really let me get my whole story out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't really let me really get to the actual point. Now I know you pointed out the taxes. You pointed out, pretty much everything that I was saying, but that really wasn't my actual point. My point was that, as all of us being employers, I'm not saying that I'm expecting to not deal with this in business, because I know that in business you're going to have to go through the same situations and you're going to have to work twice as hard. But my whole scenario was that, damn, why do all this working? Why kill myself, bust my back for somebody else when I can do it for myself? You know what I'm saying? That was my only point to you. That was like, after everything that I was saying, because you can speak for it. When you used to work for a company, how did it go from you transitioning from an employee to an employer?
I felt like you until I started my own company. You know why? Because the people that you complaining about and the people that I was complaining out, I became those people. And
right.
How you feel about them is how people felt about me. You know why? Because I didn't give a fuck about their personal feelings.
Right.
And I can prove it. I had an employee come up on the channel last year and said, yo, I thought you was an asshole until I got in business for myself. And then once I realized what I complained about you, people started doing that because I had to push that shit. Listen, I got a job to do. The shit got to get done. You on the move, you doing a route, doing final mile delivery. Hey, you ran into an obstacle early in the day. You did a refrigerator that it was an obstacle. It should have been a 30-minute stop. It turned into an hour and 30 minutes to 2 hours. And now it's 8 o'clock and you still out. Man, no. It's customers. It's still 3 stops that need to be done that these people probably took off work. You behind on the window and they expecting they shit. No, finish the job. Yeah, so Mark, you an asshole. You this, you that. Then all the truck talk start. Man, fuck dude. Man, fuck dude. And excuse my languages, but this is the shit that you hear in this industry dealing with truckers. Man, fuck dude. I'll beat his ass. Fuck that nigga. The same way you feel is how they gonna feel about you. You know why? Because you're running the business, right?
Right.
And the revenue that comes in for the business that you build is based off what? Productivity, right? Job got to get done by hell or hot water. So guess what? The people that you complain about in the corporation, the people that are above you that are pushing you out to stay out and asking you to go above and beyond, you think that they care? No, because guess what? They have people above them. They probably on salary and they got to take work home with them that they not getting paid hourly like you are. They don't have vested interest in that corporation. Right. They have to meet a certain level of expectation because their pay is salary, but they get bonuses based off metrics, productivity. Right. So they have to push you so that they can get more pay.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, I didn't want you to frame it because I told you before in the video that I was still educating myself. So whatever that may come out of my mouth that may not sound business-like or that may not sound proper, whatever the case may be, don't frame me for it because this is just something that I'm still learning to transition into. My mindset is actually developing in so many ways that I can only imagine that I can't even really explain right now. So for me to actually come into your platform and have a talk with you, that means a lot, and from watching your videos and from pretty much seeing everything that you explain, it means a lot to me and it's going to be helpful for me in the future. But I know what we talked about yesterday before I actually hung up was you pay your people well, and that's what people struggle with. It's people out here that's living in poverty. They can barely pay their bills. They can barely put food on their family's table. And this is what they have to go into when they work for somebody. You ask, you ask in your videos about why y'all want to start your own businesses. Why did you want to be a business owner or entrepreneur? I'm just speaking for me. I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm giving you my reasons of why I feel like I would be best in business. Even if I'm not educated enough, even if I'm not full transparent with business, I'm just letting you know that I have a passion for this shit. This is something that I want to do. It's gonna take a lot of knowledge and education, like you say, and a lot of wisdom and a lot of, cutthroat just to get into this business industry. Hell yeah, I totally get it. And I mean, not you, but a lot of these people out here, they always talking about as youngins. See, I'm not one of those cats that's out here asking for a handout. Everything that I got, I work hard for. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't never asked nothing from nobody. I ain't never got no advice from nobody. So I did everything on my own, and I'm proud to say that. So I can only imagine what the next 20, 30 years, what it's going to be like if I'm around your age. I'm going to be even more proud. So I feel like that was my whole scenario. It was just, why do all this work? Why do all this hard labor when you can do it for yourself? You can do it for yourself and ain't no telling if it's even going to pay off or not. But with me having my own business, doing it for my own business, I'm more satisfied with it.
I think you missed it. My argument with you wasn't the fact that you want to go off and do your own thing. My argument with you was the complaining about the corporations. The complaining
Yeah.
about the business. Here's why I'm trying to get you to understand, and why I try to get people to understand is you're complaining about a company, right, that has expectations, right, and you aspire to be a business. You came up here with big expectations. You came up here
Right.
talking about being the next Schneider and JB Hunt. You want to do expediting freight, maritime, ocean, intermodal. Like, you talking about multi-billion-dollar business. You're talking about going above and beyond. So what? There's going to be metrics. There's going to be a level of performance that's going to be needed to scale up to get to that point. So guess what? What you're complaining about, you are going to become. So what I was trying to get you to understand is, why are you complaining about a business when the business's whole purpose is to bring in revenue? And in order to bring in revenue, they need people to go above and beyond and perform. So when the business wants you to go above and beyond, it's because they need you to do that to bring in revenue. When you hire somebody, what are you going to expect? Do you want them to go out there and be laissez-faire?
Nah.
What are you going? Are you going to push them?
Yeah, I'm gonna push them. I'm gonna make
Above
sure
and
that
be
if I'm paying them well, yeah, I'm paying them well, they're gonna do the job.
And you gonna want them to go above and beyond, right?
Right, right.
And guess you think they're gonna be, man, I just love Jerice. What about one of them days when the guy, he wanna go home, but his job ain't finished? What you gonna tell him?
Still gotta do the job. I'm paying for it.
How you think he gonna feel about you when you say that?
Like I'm an idiot, like I'm an asshole.
The same way you feel about them. See, that's where go ahead, I'm gonna let you talk. Go ahead. You said what?
No,
you was gonna say I didn't think about it like that.
I ain't see it that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I ain't see it that way. That was my apology. That was my fault.
So you got upset because I was stopping you because I didn't want the conversation to go. I was stopping you to correct those thoughts, and then we could have continued. But see, you wanted to debate me because I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. You was in your feelings. Hold on. You know why you was in your feelings? Because you said, man, I feel like I should get paid more if I stay after. That's a feeling because you said the word feel. I feel. Business ain't based off feelings. And I was trying to get you to understand it and instill that in you, because if you go into business, you got to have a tough exterior. I'm ruthless, bro. I got employees that have come up on the channel and they've said it, bro. I don't give a fuck about nothing but this bread. I don't care about what's going on. I need you to do the job. If you don't do the job, Rob came up here and I pulled the clips up at the minute mark. So because I don't want people to think that I'm just saying this shit because it sounds good. No, I have real case study of people that work for me and say, yo, man, Mark will play with your money and not pay you. All right, you don't want to do what's in your best interest? All right, bet. I need you to finish the job. Okay, you don't want to finish the job? You mean to tell me you finna bring my truck back to the yard and there's still 2 stops on there? Because you got, all right, no problem, bring my shit back to the yard. The shit gonna get done. It's gonna be late. I'm gonna have somebody else go back out and do it. Or I'm gonna have to get my black ass on the truck and go back out and do it. Do me a favor. When you bring that truck to the yard, don't worry about it. Take tomorrow off. Call me tomorrow. They call me tomorrow. Hey, I'm on the schedule for next day. Nah, you know what? Call me tomorrow. The whole time I know I ain't putting them on the schedule, but I'm playing the game with them. Keep calling me the next day. I don't give a fuck. I gotta let you know. Listen, this is the job. This is what you signed up for. It was explained to you at the day to hire that, listen, if you're on a moving truck, if you're on a final mile truck, I can't dictate to you when your job is going to be done. This isn't an industry where we know, oh yeah, the truck is going to run from 8 to 4. The truck is going to run from 8 to 5. You're in the field. You're doing a multitude of jobs, and you're going to be faced with challenges and obstacles that could push you behind. But at the end of the day, if you're in the middle of a job on a move, you can't just leave the move. People shit on the curb. If you're on the final mile route and you have a bad day where just the stops are just challenging and it's pushing your day behind, you can't just call it quits. You got to finish your route. This was stated to you at your time of hire. So now that you're hired, and because it's summertime and your homies is calling you to come turn up, you're not finna leave me hanging because we already settled this at the date of hire. I'm gonna push you. I don't care what you think. I could be the biggest asshole, punk motherfucker, all that shit. I need the job done. You know why? Because each stop that you do, it results in what? Revenue. And without the shit getting done, there's no productivity, there's no revenue. If I had feelings because you feel a certain type of way, nothing would get done.
I got you. And I mean, I wasn't in the video, so I don't know what happened after when I left. But I seen that there was a lot of guys that was in the comments where he don't know what hard working is, or he don't know this and he don't know that. You know, and I ain't even really gonna get into your audience. I ain't even gonna go back and forth with your audience because they don't know me. I don't know them. You don't know me. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? We just talking. But I do know. I mean, I do have some sense in my mind that it's gonna be tough and it's gonna be hard, and I know that every day is not always gonna be easy. I know that for sure. You know, and you explained that a lot in your videos. You talked about this numerous of times in your videos. So everything that you're saying, I pretty much already have in my mind. It's just how can I transition it? How can I, switch my mindset? How can I go about this? See, I don't have enough guidance when it comes to
Well,
coming from an employee to an employer.
but I'm telling you, but see, yesterday, instead of you listening, you wanted to go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? You 24, I'm 44. Right? And
Right.
when I started in 2010, you were 10 years old.
Right.
When I started in this industry, building a business, you were 10 years old. So this is the issue that I have with, and it's not really an issue. Let me take that back. With young people nowadays, and I sound like an old man, I'm 44, but I guess I am because all y'all call me OG and Unc. So, you know,
Man.
so here's the thing. I'm not telling you nothing, and I wasn't telling you nothing. I wasn't stopping you yesterday to go back. I was stopping to correct your mindset and to shift it because I don't want you to contradict. That's why I named it Paradox. That's why I titled this on the thumbnail. I put the word paradox in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way you're looking at them, here's the thing. Your superiors, they're not doing nothing wrong. They have a job to do. Their job to do is schedule you and get the productivity out of you to generate revenue. They're superiors over them. Your superiors don't have vested interest in whatever corporation it is. They're employees just like you. Do you think they care about how you feel? Of course they don't. Nobody cares. Nobody cares because business doesn't have feelings. Business is based off of numbers, metrics, data, revenue. So in order for you to shift from an employee mindset, you have to unlearn that. And this is what I was trying to get you to understand. You got to unlearn what you got going on from an employee perspective and become a business owner mentally. Because what you're doing, the way you feel, if you carry that over into business, you ain't gonna last long. People gonna run over you. You're gonna be operating in a loss because your feelings is gonna be involved, and you're gonna feel like, you know what, this person stayed an extra 2 hours. Let me throw them a little extra. oh, this person complained about this. Let me give them a little extra. You got to get your feelings out the equation. It's going to turn you ruthless. You're going to seem like you don't have a soul.
Right.
But if you continue to operate how you operate, people going to run over you, big dog. Anybody that's been in business, especially this industry, that's experienced like I am, will tell you the same thing. They're going to say, man, he ain't telling you nothing wrong, young man. People going to try you. The moment they see that weakness exposed, that you got a heart, you done, big dog. They send you out there. They probably, when they send you out there and you still working on the truck, they at home.
Right.
Do you think they care that you still out there?
Nope.
No, because your superiors, they did what they were supposed to do. Get the productivity out of you. So I wasn't stopping you to, I'm telling you from experience, bro.
That's why I'm here. Yeah. Damn. Maybe I was in the wrong. My bad on it. I come back on your platform. I definitely apologize for how the way I lived it. You know, I'm still learning. You know, I'm still, you know, I'm human. I'm gonna make mistakes, but I'm gonna try to better myself though.
Yeah,
As time flies.
and the reason why I stopped you, and it wasn't even a hold accountable thing. If you were an employee and the rest of your work life tenure, that's all you wanted to be, then I would understand your mindset, and I wouldn't even challenge it or correct it, because that's just typical mindset of an employee. But when you shift over to becoming an employer, you become what you're complaining about. And you won't see it until you get in those shoes, and then you'll understand, damn, I become what I once hated. So I stopped you from complaining about it because you talking about you want to be the next JB Hunt. You're going to have people, in order to get to that level, what you think you're going to have to do, bro? You think you're going to be able to run intermodal, maritime, air freight, and what you say you want to do is a big challenge. I haven't seen a new startup company, do what you say you want to do. The last company that started a company and did that was XPO. XPO is still a fairly young company. So for XPO to start in 2000 and become what they've become now, the third largest trunking company in the United States, 24 years later, is a big feat. That may not happen again, bro. So you want to be them. You want to be JB Hunt. You want to be Schneider. You think you're going to get to that point without pushing people? I remember a guy told me, and I said this on the channel before. It was a guy, he worked for me, and he was late. So, you late, I'm ripping him a new one. We going back and forth. He said, it's your responsibility. He felt that me, as the business owner, I'm responsible for making sure and ensuring my employees get to work. This is what he told me. This is the ignorant shit he told me. Now, you gotta remember, I'm in Chicago. So some of the people here, so it's your responsibility to make sure your employees get to work. I said, what? I pay you. If you got a car, make sure you got enough gas money to get your ass here. If you ain't got a car, make sure you got a bus pass to get your ass here. You get paid. Your pay, you take care of your responsibility with your pay. He said, nah, you should get all of us bus cars. This is what he told me. He said, we out here doing all the hard work. We making you rich. This was maybe 2013, 2014. So this is when I really started to climb. And the people that was working for me, they started to see that. They started to see me buying trucks, and then we moved into the warehouse and got the office. So the people that were there at the beginning, as I was renting those trucks and I was going, they see the growth. And that's when the envy started to come. Oh, we doing all the hard work. Fuck the fact that I was out there once on the truck too. Just fuck that. Fuck
Right.
those 3 years. It's now that I'm removed and I'm behind the scenes because this is where I need to be in order to scale the company. I can't scale it if I'm on the truck and I'm running a multitude of truck, because when things arise on other trucks, I'm on the truck. I can't take care of the business. So now it's, oh, we're making you rich. Why? Because I'm expecting a certain level of productivity. I'm not trying to be their friends. I'm shrewd. Come to work, do your job, and go home.
Mm.
So how you look at the company is how people are going to look at you. You're not going to get to where you want to get to without a certain level of productivity, without you being shrewd, without you pushing. You're using people to get you to that level. See, this is what people ain't going to say. People going to say, oh, I'm helping people out. No, you're using people just like they're using you. They're using you to put food on their table. You're providing them an opportunity. This is what I told him. I'm like, bro, you ain't making me nothing. I'm giving you an opportunity to help you out. I said the position that I'm in, I put myself here. People are looking to you for an opportunity so that they can put food on their table. You need these people so that you can continue to elevate. Everybody ain't got the mindset that you have to want to go here. Right? But
Right.
the mindset that you have to want to go here and the things that you have to do to get there, you're going to do things that people aren't, and I'm not saying they're bad things, but you're going to
Right.
have to push people. You're going to have to get a level of productivity out of people, because it'll never happen if you don't. If people come to work and they do lazy half-ass jobs, then what? You're going to have a lazy half-ass business. You can't build a company yourself, especially to the level that you want to get to.
Yeah, I learned that as well.
So you're going to need people. And if you can get some extra work out of a salaried person, because the level you want to get to, if you want to be like XPO, like you say you do, and JB Hunt, operating in all these different lanes, eventually the company's going to have to go public. Right?
Right.
And then what? Who do you answer to then? I'm asking you. Who do you answer to then? You don't know? The shareholders. And what's the shareholders' main objective? What do the shareholders want the most? You don't know?
Piece of my business.
A return on investment.
Mm.
They don't care about, you know why? Because those people are far, far removed from the day-to-day inner workers. They don't care about the little guys that are actually in the field doing the work that continues to make them money and make them rich. They're investors. They buy stock, they put an ample amount of money in the stock, and they're looking for a return on their investment. They don't care about the feelings. They don't care about this person had to stay late. They don't care about this person was on a final written warning, but his wife was pregnant, and now he got a decision to make. God damn, I'm on a final. I can't call off because I'm going to lose my job. So do I go there and witness the birth of my firstborn, or do I take my butt to work? Because the business ain't going to care that my wife is going in labor. I already done fucked up because I was late 2 or 3 times to put me on this final written warning. And if I go watch my wife, they not going to care. They're going to fire me. But I need this money because I got a newborn baby. These are real scenarios.
Right.
Do you think the shareholders care? They don't even know.
Right. And I was just going to tell you too, I don't even have kids. I don't have kids. I'm single. So
what I'm trying to tell you, I'm giving you the scope from a business owner lens, somewhere that you want to get to, and especially at the level that you said you want to get to. I don't care about that. I'm an investor in a lot of different companies. I'm an investor in Amazon. I've been accumulating Amazon stock for years. That's why when these guys complain about rates and stuff, listen, I want the rates to go down. See, the point is to remove yourself from the day to day and get to this point. The people that are still down here that don't want to work to get up here and get out of that rat race, they're going to always feel away. They're going to always feel away. The people up here, ROI. What else is a contributing factor to an investor getting a bigger return on their investment? When companies do what? What we seen a bunch of companies do over the past 2 years. Pepsi just did it. Lay people off. What happens when companies lay people off? Stock goes up. Why do you think the stock goes up when companies lay people off? When Amazon laid all these people off, when Google laid all these people off, why do you think the stock goes up? Has Google declined? Has Google declined? Has Amazon declined? No. So all those people that got laid off, all those jobs that they were doing, who's doing them now? Some were replaced by automation, but guess what? Those jobs that they were doing have got added on to other people that stayed in the business. So now they have more work to do. They probably got a small little percentage bump, but that small little percentage bump for that workload that they got added is saving a lot more money from all the 99,000, whatever the number was, people that they fired. We'll give the people that we keep a small percentage bump, but we're still saving money in totality, getting rid of all these people. We can close down all these corporate offices in all these big cities. Now we're saving more money, which increased our revenue, which increases the shareholders' return on investment. You think those corporations cared that all those people was finna be without a job?
No.
What was the factor that led them to lay those people off? To increase revenue. To increase revenue. Listen, it's all about revenue, young man. So when I say shit, because I know people are going to get mad about the rates, I do it purposely. Because as an investor, I want a return on my investment. I've done what I needed to do. I put the work in. That's the point. You work your way up out of that shit, you become the investor. The people down here going to always complain. It's a mindset thing. You run for cheaper, the company saves money, better return on investment for me. It's not personal, it's just business.
That's how it goes. I hear you. I understand you. Completely. Damn, I ain't think about it that way. My bad.
You don't have to apologize. It's just, you just gotta listen. So when I was trying to stop you and try to shift I was trying to correct you, but you were passionate because you was feeling a certain type of way. Listen, let me explain something to you. You own any property or anything right now? Have you made any investments? Do you own any investments?
No. Besides my business, no.
You still live at home?
No, I stay in my own apartment by myself.
Okay. So you got an apartment. You don't own any assets, any real estate, or any investments, paper assets, or anything like that, right? The older you get, you're gonna face some challenges, right? You still got a lot of growing to do as far as just not learning business, just real life experiences. You're still 24. You're going to come across some things in your life that's going to help you realize that no one cares. I once felt like you. I once felt like, why don't these people care? Why don't the job cares? Why don't these companies care? I felt like you right around your age until I hit a situation that made me realize nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody's coming to save you. Businesses don't care. Corporations don't care. And I'm glad I learned that prior to me getting in business, because if I didn't, I would have gotten into business and I would have still had that soft spot. I'm going to pay people well, right? And I'm going to expect a level of productivity out of them. I'm going to expect them to go above and beyond, because if the people don't go above and beyond, how does the company grow? How do you get a return on your investment if the people don't work?
Agreed. I hear you. Yeah. Yeah, man. Think about it that way. Yeah, you're right. I do gotta learn. I got a lot of growing to do, a lot of learning to do. But I'm glad I was able to still, I wasn't scared. I was still able to come back up here and own up to what I did and own up to how the way I reacted. Unlike most people that's probably in your audience, that's probably in your chat, they wouldn't be confident enough to even come up here and talk to
You
you.
can't look at what other people do. You just got to focus. That's another thing. I told a
Right.
guy last night, stop worrying about what other people saying. If people in the chat challenge me. People been
Right.
challenging me since I came on YouTube. And every single time when I feel like it, I hit back.
Right.
But I don't do it when they want me to do it, because I don't run off their time. I run off my time.
Right.
Worrying about what other people thinking and shit like that, that's something else that's going to hold you back.
Right.
Which
And I'm
goes
trying
back to
to
what
get out of that.
which goes back to what I was saying a minute ago. If you're paying somebody handsomely, you're paying them a fair wage for a fair day's work, you can't worry about how they feel.
Right.
You're supposed to have some type of moral compass, but you're paying them handsomely. You're
Right.
paying
There's
them
no excuse.
fair. You want to hear what they say. If there's complaints, hey, they may have certain things that may come up within the job scope of the job that they may bring to your attention, right? That you should take. Obviously you should. But what I'm saying is their personal feelings towards the job. This some bullshit, man. It's hot as hell out here. Just the dumb shit people complain about. Man, it's hot as hell out here, man. I'm out here doing this shit, man. It's hot as hell. See, I'm in a tough market. Shout out to everybody in Chicago. Shout out to people in New York. In these tough markets, we have to deal with tough people that complain about dumb shit. Man, it's hot as hell, man. I'm doing all this heavy ass work, man. This hot ass day, man. Shit, man. Fuck this shit. I don't care nothing about it's hot outside. I don't care nothing about it's cold outside.
All right.
I don't care that it's snow outside. I don't care that it's raining. Get a poncho. Get a poncho. I bought ponchos. I went to the dollar store. They had the dollar ponchos. I bought about 50 ponchos. No problem. It's raining outside. Hey, go ahead. Hey, Telly, get him a poncho. I'm supposed to feel a certain type of way because it's cold. I worked in the cold. This is another reason why I tell people they have to do the work so that you can know what the job entails. One thing a person challenge you on, if they never knew you did the work. When you do the work, they can't challenge you. You've been out there, you've done the work. And not only that, you know what the job entails. So you know if it's something that can be done or not done. You know if you're putting the person through to do a job in extreme circumstances, is it ethical or moral or not? I'm in a cold market. It gets cold, but guess what? Furniture company still selling appliances. Shit still got to get delivered. Moving ain't really busy in the wintertime, but you still have some people that move in the wintertime. So am I not supposed to get revenue to continue to grow the company because you feel a certain type of way because of the weather?
Right.
No. Get your ass on the truck, go do your job, or I'm gonna find somebody else that will. And if I can't find nobody else that will, then guess what's gonna happen? I'm gonna get on
Right.
the truck and go do it.
So regardless if they get compensated for it or not, that's just what the reality is.
The
That's
the
just what
the
business
the,
is.
the job is the job. The scope of the job is the scope of the job. It is what it is. Everybody wants to do something when they first get hired to get in the door, but once they start doing it in repetition daily, every single day, just like how you feel, it's how they feel. Except when you become who you oppose right now, until then, you don't really see how you look and how you sound complaining about the shit that you complaining right about now, because people going to be complaining about that same shit about you. And that's all I was trying to tell you. Then another thing, what I was going to get to you yesterday, but you ran up out of here.
Man.
The first thing you did when you came on was that you looking to start your cargo van business, right?
Yes. Yes.
But what was the key component? You said, I don't got all the money yet.
Right.
That's what you said. So God is presenting you an opportunity to make the money in a more expedited fashion without having to go out and look for a second job. Your
Right.
job is offering you unlimited overtime at time and a half. This is the blessing that you're looking for, and you complaining about it. So am I bogus for holding you accountable on that? Because you
No,
just
but
said you needed the money. Here's the opportunity to make the money. You're
can I
24.
tip you on something though? The reason why I brought that up was to explain to you why people don't want to work for companies in general and what people deal with when they're in their, employee status, trying to do the jobs and trying to do what's best interest for the company and so on and so forth. I wasn't saying it to complain, like I didn't want the money, because I knew then, yes, I do need this extra overtime. I do need this extra 115, 120 hours every 2 weeks. So that way I can be able to invest, get my equipment. I can be able to get the necessary things that I need to get done. So I
Right.
wasn't just doing it out of the spite to complain.
But you were complaining. You were complaining. So what you're complaining about is really the blessing that you're looking for to help you enter into the industry that you want to enter into. Some people have to leave that job and go work a second job to come up with the revenue. You could stay at the job that you're on the route that you're on. You're making, what, you said 30 additional hours of overtime in a pay period? About
30,
15
35
additional a
years.
week at time and a half. So you don't have to go seek other employment to help come up with the revenue. God is presenting you with the opportunity with where you're at. The time that you would go get a second job, you're doing that right there with your job, except you're getting paid more to do it. That's a blessing.
You're right. I ain't think about that either.
So to me, I'm looking at you, I'm listening to you, and you got this one person in the chat that's siding with you, and I'm like, I didn't get a chance to cook. What I'm doing to you now is what I was going to say to you yesterday, but you ran up out of here. You can't come on a platform and say, I want to start a cargo van business, but I ain't got the money yet, and then later complain about a job that's giving you 30 hours of OT in a pay period. And I'm like, you want to get into the business, you don't got the money, but your job is giving you OT. What are you complaining about? Your blessing is right in front of you, and you don't even got the sense to realize it.
Maybe I didn't reword it in a way.
It wasn't a
To
reword. You
where
was complaining. You was complaining. It wasn't
I
a
know, but
reword.
I was trying to reword it in a way to where you will understand why I wanted to get into business, why I wanted to start my own company, and the visions and the, maybe dreams or goals I may have for myself, and maybe I just didn't reword it correctly
Well,
in that regard.
it wasn't about the words. You complained. The whole point of us talking now was the complaining about your superiors and how they had you doing this and doing that. And then I said, yo, you're going to become
What they
exactly
are.
what you're complaining about. But
Right.
then now we're talking about what you complaining about doing this OT and them putting that work on you, regardless of you feel like they putting it on you because other people are not doing the work. You need the work anyway. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right.
So
And I still do it. I still do it. I still get it done.
but this is what you, in order to start a business, I tell people you're gonna have to make some sacrifices, right?
Right.
Practice delayed gratification. Go out there and get it and come up with the revenue, right? Now, let's say
Right.
they wasn't offering you the OT. Would you have to go out and get a second job to help
Most
come up with the
definitely.
money? All right, so
Most definitely.
if they're offering you the OT, which means you don't have to go out and seek other employment. And not only is once you go over 40, you're getting the same hourly pay at time and a half. So you making more there than what you probably making at a second job. So you don't even have to punch out there, drive across town, go punch in somewhere else. You're just staying on your route and getting the OT. So you can't complain about a job that's really funding you with the revenue to do what it is that you want to do. You have to
Right.
look at it as a blessing and accept it.
Right. Sometimes
Because
it can
guess
be
what?
pressure.
Because guess what? It's people that wish they could get 30 hours of OT.
Yeah. True that.
And you want to start a business, you need the capital anyway. You going to listen, if you punch out there, you're going to go punch in somewhere else at a second job. So why just not stay there and make the OT instead of complaining about it?
Which I do. I do that.
Right, but you complain. So am I bogus
Right.
for holding you accountable on that?
No, you got me. You got me. That's what I'm here for. You got me. I'm gonna take that into consideration. I'm gonna stop complaining and I'm gonna just get to the bag and focus on getting that working capital built up. You got me. You got me. That's my point purpose of coming to you. You the big dog. You've been doing this for a long, long time, so you know. That's why I appreciate what you do. That's why I appreciate what you do for others.
I appreciate you. I
I never
appreciate
hold
you
it.
for coming back. I appreciate you for coming back and you know, you know, you don't like this is a conversation that we was having, you know, listen, sometimes some people gonna get the best of you in a conversation, especially for somebody that's 20 years your senior that got more life experience and more business experience.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So sometimes it pays to listen. Because I ain't gonna tell you nothing wrong. I don't want you to go out here and fail. There's people that's in my DM right now, and I could expose them that don't like what I'm doing. Motherfucker come in my DM talking about, hey man, you doing too much. The game is to be sold, not told. The worst thing that motherfucker could have did was come into my DM with that bullshit. That's why I'm turning up more. If you watching this, don't come in my DM with no goofball ass shit. Because the only thing I want to do is turn up more because I got the time and the resources to do so. So if it's detrimental to your bottom line and what the fuck you got going on, what you selling, too bad. The worst thing you could ever did was come in my goddamn DM and tell me I'm doing too much. The game is to be sold, not told. You done fucked up.
Right.
Oh,
And I
good
know
Lord,
we was
forgive me
talking about
for cussing
the
on the Sunday. My mama at church right now, praying for Big Mama at church right now, praying for Big Mark, and I'm sitting up here cussing because they messing with Big Mark. They better leave Big
mine's
Mark
is too.
alone. They better leave
Mine's
Big
is
Mark
too.
alone. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah, big dog. So yeah,
And
it
we
ain't
talked about and we talked about cost per mile because I know you preach that shit a lot on your channel, a lot. But as a new business owner, when you don't really know your cost per mile at the start of it, how would you explain it in your business plan? Like, okay, well, I may not know what my cost per mile is right as of right now, but this is where the, I guess, rough draft of it could be like once I get out there and once I run it. Like you say, start from humble beginnings, right? I have a car, but if I can get a cargo van or express for Facebook Marketplace for a couple $1,000s, I can invest into that. That way I won't have no payments. Two, I do have my cost per mile sheet that's on Excel that explains all my expenses, and I already have it written down. So whenever I get my van and whenever I get a contract, I will already know pretty much, what the average rate per mile, cost per mile would be. But I got to get into the contract, do it, see how many miles I run per week, per day, get all my costs, get all my expenses taken care of, and figure out what the actual number is.
You said you wanted to do final mile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you really not really gonna focus on the cost per mile. That's more
So
for
don't even
OTR.
explain it to your business plan at all. So I don't
No,
even
I
have to
mean,
write it.
listen, no, understand what it is in case you transition later into OTR. But with
Okay.
final mile, now he's not doing a cost per mile. Your revenue, you don't have to base your operational costs off that formula. That formula is for OTR. There's a different formula that we could talk about, for final mile. It's gonna be more percentage based.
Okay. So how would I explain the pricing strategy then? If I don't have a cost per mile and I don't have to go by it, how would I still
If
explain
you're
it
doing
if I'm
final mile, they're gonna pay you. It's a few ways they're gonna pay you.
by
One
piece?
one way is a guarantee, which on the new and nowadays is highly unlikely you're gonna get a guarantee. All right. Another way, not per piece. Not when you're doing big and bulky final mile. They're not gonna pay you per piece. They're gonna pay you per
Okay.
stop. Per piece. Well, you said you want to do cargo vans, right, or box trucks?
Cargo vans.
Okay, so my bad. For cargo vans, yes, per piece. You can get a guarantee, which is highly unlikely on the new starting out because you don't have any leverage. Another way is per piece, which is the way they're probably going to pay you coming in on the new with one cargo van, doing like office supply stuff. So when you go in there and negotiate and they tell you, oh, $2 a piece, $3 a piece, the next question you should be, well, what's the average piece count per day? So if they tell you $2 a piece, with a cargo van, you at least want to gross at least $300 a day.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So at $2 a piece to gross $300, how many pieces do you need?
80.
No. At $2 a piece,
Mm-hmm.
to get to $300, how many pieces would you need to average $300 a day?
15, correct?
No. If it's $2 a piece, $2 and 100 pieces is going to be a gross total of what?
200. My bad. I'm
All right.
thinking you saying 20. You saying 2. My bad. I'm tripping. My bad.
So 150 pieces, right? So that's how you look at it. All right, boom. If they say $2 a piece, then you're gonna say, all right, what's the average piece count? If they tell you 100 pieces or 80 pieces, then that's not something that you want to do, right? You will need at least 150 pieces, right? Now,
right.
Depending on what your cost is, depending on if you're financing a truck, and I'm telling you this is going to be based on what your operational cost is.
Right.
Whatever your operational cost say is going to cost you $100 a day to operate. Boom. Okay. My operational cost, I want to make $300 gross because it's going to cost me $100 to operate this contract. Cost. Then if I pay myself, okay, whatever that may be, this is what I need to make so that I could profit this. Whatever that number is, I'm just giving you the formula how you would go in and negotiate. I'm just giving you these numbers. I'm not saying 150 is what you, because you in Alabama. Right. And, your piece, let's say at T-Force, what they pay per piece is not going to be what they paying here or not what they paying in New York. So whatever your cost to operate is, you have to know, okay, it's going to cost me, let's say, $100 to run this van all in. All right, let's say 150 with paying, right? So I need to gross about $300. Or it's going to cost me $200 to operate this van, right? I at least want to make $100, all right, for the company. So 33%, right? And then that's how you go in and base it off the percentage based on what they paying. You see what I'm saying? Because it's different. It's different than OTR, right? So that's how you want
Right.
to do it. You want to look at the piece count, how many pieces, what they paying per piece. Then you need to determine how many pieces you gonna need to make the money that you need to make. All right. So you gotta have this math already going in. You need to know, okay, this is what it's gonna cost. If I don't move this van, it's gonna cost me this much a day, whether I move it or don't. If I don't move it, how much is it gonna cost me? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
All right. So now you know what it costs you for that van every day, as far as your fixed and your variable costs. Estimate on your variable costs. You ain't gonna know how much you gonna spend on fuel until they give you a route. You see what I'm saying? And then from there you go. But that's why you want to make sure you got that buffer. You in a van, I ain't gonna spend no more. It's a local route. Let's say I may go out. They're gonna tell you, oh, you're gonna go out about 50 route, gonna be 40 mile radius, 30 mile radius, 50 mile radius. Now you got that buffer so that fuel fluctuate. You know what your MPG on the van. Boom. I know I'm gonna make at least about 30 to 33% a day on this. And then you go from there.
Okay. So just pretty much get a full estimate from the contract and figure out what the per piece is, how many pieces what's the average piece you're making, and then try to determine that into your cost per mile.
Pieces gonna fluctuate. That's why you kind of want to make sure you understand what you're getting into with that Office Depot staple shit from Waco or Capstone or T-Force. That shit gonna fluctuate. But I'm just telling you, you need to know what they paying per piece so that you know, okay, boom, I need this many pieces. If they not offer you the amount of pieces that you need to gross what you need to gross on a day-to-day basis, then one, you need to negotiate or you need to look somewhere else. You get what you negotiate. Don't just accept anything. So know what it's going to cost you to operate your vehicle before you go in there and negotiate, so you know what to ask for or you know what to not accept.
Okay.
Your gross, listen, your gross on the cargo van doing dedicated is going to be low. Your profit margin is going to be low.
No.
You probably going to, you probably going to be netting $100 or less. Depending on what type of van you get, what your note is, if you're renting one or not.
Yeah. And that's
now,
why I figured out that
it's possible because I was running Office Depot at 33%.
Right.
But this is some years ago, right? So if you were to put a driver in there now, you ain't gonna get a driver to do Office Depot route for $100. You're gonna have to pay at least about $150 to do a route, right? And you got to look at the comps. Look at the comps, all right? You know what the comps are? Like in real estate. All right, so boom. So look at the comps. What's an Office Depot DSP package route paying right about now? About 150, 160 a route, right? So boom.
I thought it was 180.
Well, it depends on market. I'm just giving you the average. It fluctuates in different markets. All right.
Okay.
So you got to compete then, because you can't. Okay, you pay a person 100, 120. They can go run an Office Depot route for a DSP and make, let's say, 180, 160, 150. So you got to keep that in mind too. Okay, well, if the DSPs is paying this, this is comparable to that. I have to pay something comparable so I can attract applicants to come work for me. So even with you going in initially to do it yourself, you still have to think down the line. Well, I plan on scaling this. The opportunity presents itself within this facility. I plan on scaling this. So I have to make sure that when I do start to scale, I'm replacing myself. I can pay myself as low or as high. I can fluctuate I'm not going to be able to do that with the employees. So I got to make sure it's enough room there to pay someone on these routes that I scale and make a small little profit. You put somebody in that truck or that van there and you getting somewhere around $300. On average, it could go up. It could be lower some days. You want to at least make about $50, which which to a lot of people is not a lot, but like I always say, the margins in this industry are small. They're even smaller in that cargo van. The object is the scale. You see what I'm saying? And then you're making a larger amount of money in volume.
And as you scale, don't the contract changes? Can't you get a better contract with the actual company? Or
I can only go off my experience, and I've never had a company say, "Hey, we're going to pay you more money." Whenever they come, it's always to say, "Hey, can we talk? Is there a way we can go down to this?" I've always operated on a guarantee. So I remember I was getting 300, right, uh, at T Force for my Office Depot routes, and I forget her name, the operations supervisor at that time. She came, she called me in for a meeting. I drove out to they was in Wooddale at the time. I think they moved over. Where's T Force now? I think they moved into the old UPS place in Addison. But back when I was there, they were in Wooddale, right off of Thorndale Road, out in Wooddale. I'm telling you, like you from Chicago, you don't know. But anyway, I drove out there to have a meeting, and she was like, "Hey, can we go down to 275 a route?" I was running 9 routes. I, I I had the room to do it because that would just it would have brought my profit margin down off each route, and we'd have walked away with $75 off each route. But I held firm. I was running 16-footers and 3 vans. So what I did, just to come to some type of agreement, I stood firm on the 16-footers at 300, and then I said I'll go down to 275 for the 3 vans. You see what I'm saying? So I've never came, even with another account we were running for that same 3PL, they wanted to come down. They wanted to come down $75 on my guarantee. And I eventually had to come down because that account moved to a different 3PL that was privately owned, and we had to come down because they wasn't going to pay me. And then eventually they got bought out by XPO, and then XPO said, "Yo, we getting rid of we're not going to pay you a guarantee. We're going to pay you per stop." And then I just walked away from it at that point.
Shit, yeah.
So even with other 3PLs that I've had, it's always renegotiating to cut the rate. It's rarely gonna go up. I look at some of these final mile routes today, they paying similar to what they was paying. I did a live stream where I showed rates from a final mile contract I was running in 2013, and it's the same that they paying today.
Yeah, I probably ain't checked that out yet. Yeah.
And then I tell people the rates are the same, and they say no, they're not. And I literally showed the shit is the same.
Yeah.
So, nah, they rarely, you know what I'm saying? Even when you come or you have, variables that fluctuate. I remember 2014, fuel really, really skyrocketed. 2014. Like fuel, I believe in 2014 is higher than it is right now. But guess what? Like they're not gonna pay you more.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I've never had a situation where a 3PL came and said, "Hey, we renegotiate our deal. We're getting more, so we're gonna pay you more." No, never heard of that.
Okay.
Well, I've never had that experience.
So is it important to let your business age, before you actually get into the contract, into the 3PL? Or is it best to just go ahead and get the LLC and then just start it right out the gate from your LLC? I mean, I know with the FLC, it said you got to wait 20 days and all that for your, active, but
if they onboard you, then they onboard you. You don't have to let it age. I mean, it's different with final mile versus OTR. You got some final mile companies now require you to, have your authority for 6 months or 3 months. A lot changed after the pandemic. A lot of people messed it up for new entrants during
that's what I
the
heard.
pandemic. But there's still 3PLs that let you on board because it's more high. It's still a high demand for that type of work. So I mean, you can get in. I mean,
and they may be wrong. I know some people told me that. I mean, if you let it age, then it's more likely that you can get in.
But this is different sector of trucking.
Right.
Brokers are looking for more age authority now on the OTR side. There are 3PLs on the final mile side that now, after the pandemic, have added that, right? But then there's still a plethora that aren't. AIT, I don't think is requiring it. T-Force I think is requiring it now, but once upon a time they weren't. The only reason they started requiring it now is because of the shit that happened during the pandemic and the entrance that came in that made it bad for people that are going to be coming in the future like you. But you still have a plethora of 3PLs that shit, you can,
Don't
as
have to
soon
worry
as you
about
get
that.
your authority, you can apply and shit, they'll onboard you, so you're local. There's less risk. You got freight, but it's local, it's less risk, you know what I'm saying, than a person who's driving cross country. Cross country always presents OTR always presents more elevated risk than
Mm-hmm.
local work in any lane, any capacity lane. OTR is always uh, looked upon as riskier. So, which is
Yeah. So when
another
you was
reason
asking
why
me
they
about,
want more experience.
all right. So when you was asking me about what lane I wanted to get into yesterday, that's what you was talking about. You was trying to see if I wanted to start a local OTR.
Local OTR, final mile, just whatever, final mile, curbside, just what sector
Oh, yeah,
you
because I was
actually
I
wanted to
was telling
land
you,
in.
I was like, Final Mile cargo van, but you kept saying what lane, what lane, what lane. I'm like, what other lane is you talking about right
Nah,
now?
I don't think you said final mile cargo
I
van.
did.
That's why I
I
kept.
said, remember? No, no, no. Remember, I said Final Mile curbside, Final Mile big and bulky.
I gotta go back and rewatch.
Watch it. Yeah. But I appreciate you, my man. And like I said, I mean, I heard everything that you said, and I'm gonna definitely take that into consideration in the future. And I'm gonna try to do the best that I can with switching my mindset and changing my mindset and just learning this industry and learning this game the best way I can. So I'm gonna continue on watching you. Um, and I try to watch you every now and then, man, whenever I get the chance to from work. But I have those days to where I be seeing you on live and I just hit you live while I'm driving. So, I be out there watching. So just
Appreciate you.
continue on doing what you're doing, big homie.
Appreciate you. All right, you don't got no questions, right? That's it,
That
right?
was it. You pretty much, yeah. I mean, yeah, you pretty much answered everything that I need to know. Now that I have a full glimpse of what, pretty much the answer that I have in my head, I know what to do now. So,
Okay.
got it. It's just I know business plan. You talked about it. It's important to have a business plan, which I do. But the pricing strategy part was something that I was trying to figure out. That was giving me a hard time. Because, like you
Mhm.
say, you don't need to know your customer. I mean, you do, but you don't, right? So
Well,
you kind of
your
stumble to
cost per mile, is a metric, is a measure that's used with OTR. You
okay.
know, so because they base what they're going to take off the rate that they're getting per mile. Over on this side, we look at things a little bit different. If I'm
Okay.
running my Office Depot routes were literally, once my vehicles picked the stuff up in Wooddale, I fought to get local routes. They were sending me way out into the suburbs,
Hmm.
but my warehouse is in the city. So I wanted the routes in the city and I fought to get those routes. Right. So my routes were dense. So the the way we do it on this side is based off percentages. Okay, it's costing me this much to operate. All right. This is what my profit margin is. This is the percentage that we're taking. The miles don't really matter because the route is dense. The route probably is within 10 miles total.
Right.
They're probably doing 30, 40, 50 stops within a 10 route radius. Some of them even tighter than that. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So that don't really matter. I'm going off percentages. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going miles and miles. I'm not getting paid a rate per mile. I'm getting paid a guarantee, or I'm getting paid. I never did a piece count, or I'm getting paid per stop. Right.
Right.
So it's a little bit different. Now, if you go on OTR, then yeah, you want to use the cost per
Yeah.
mile formula to understand what it's costing you uh,
Okay.
to run your truck.
Right. And is it possible if you can do OTR and find a mile at one time? I mean, have you noticed anybody that done it before? Is it possible if it can be a little bit of both, or
You talking about with one truck?
yeah, one or
No,
more? Yeah.
you can't do it with
Okay.
one truck. You could do it at scale. You could have a vehicle OTR. You could have a vehicle that's local. One truck is
Right.
not. You can't do OTR and do because final mile is dedicated. If you run a final
Right.
mile route, more times than not, if it's a route, it's dedicated. So Monday through
Yeah.
Friday, Monday through Saturday, or 7 days a week, and you just can't use that one vehicle to. That one vehicle can't be in Nebraska and be in Alabama at the same time. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
I
So
mean,
if
I
you
was just
got,
asking. I mean, I mean, I didn't believe in it, but just hearing
I
people
mean,
out
no,
here,
no, no, you can do
yeah,
it, but you just can't do it with one vehicle. If you got two vehicles and you got a driver that's over the road in one vehicle, and then you got a vehicle that's local, yeah, that's possible to be done. It just can't be done with one vehicle. That's what I'm saying. You do whatever you
okay,
want. You got your authority. If you got multiple vehicles, you can send a vehicle OTR. You can keep a vehicle local. That's up to you. It can be done. It just can't be done with one vehicle.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, man. Well, yeah, you pretty much answered my questions. Now that you know who I am and you know what my business is now. I mean, I'll definitely be keeping you updated on the progress. So,
Yeah, and just just be more. You know, when people, you just gotta take constructive criticism.
that's
You
what I'm
know,
learning. Yeah,
you
that's what I'm
know,
learning now.
and
Yeah.
you know, it's not easy for me to sit up here and do it, right? Because there's gonna be people that disagree with me. But I know what works because it worked for me, and I can look at other people's situations and listen to what they saying and give advice because I'm experienced enough to know, even if my situation is different, what will and what may not work based off what a person is telling me, because I've been there before. You know what I'm saying? I know the level of work that it's going to take. I know the situations that a person's going to have to go through.
Right.
I insurance situations. I've dealt with
Mhm.
lawsuits. I've dealt with a plethora of employees. I've dealt with uh, you know 3PLs. I've dealt with um, just
Everything you can imagine.
just yeah, it's a lot that you come across. Even when I started cross docking, I can sit up here, you know, and tell you the ins and out of cross docking because I did cross docking. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So, but you're gonna have people that, challenge that, and I'll listen, but I'm telling people shit based off experience and data and facts. So I wouldn't be sitting here, me the type of person I am, I wouldn't be sitting here, especially for free, right?
Right.
Just to be saying shit. It's plenty of people on the internet that I see. People tag me and shit with the laughing emoji all the time with something. Like somebody literally tagged me in something yesterday. It was a content creator box truck, not on YouTube, more so on TikTok and Instagram. It literally said you can make $8,000 to $40,000 a week in a box truck. And it's like on their TikTok, and you know how they put the text right there and it says it.
Mhm.
And you know
Yeah.
what? It's gonna be a bunch of people that click that shit. They're gonna tap down below, like that person said, because they see that big number. They are going to buy that course, thinking that they're gonna get $40,000 in a week, right?
I don't know why people fall
And
for it.
and and they're going to be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
So me being older, experienced, um, I can honestly tell you that that's not true. And
Right.
which for me to do that, I'm challenging what other people in this space are saying. So
Right.
that can bring heat on me, but the way I deflect that heat is by making when I get up here, I know what I'm talking about. The last thing a person wants you to do when they selling something, misleading people, is piss a person like me off for me to go through your shit. The bigger my platform gets, the more we can get rid of a lot of the misinformation. It's easy for the misinformation to get spread when the largest platforms on the interwebs, right, in this
Right.
space are larger platforms. The platforms that um, speak the truth and are more community based and are more have more direct engagement with their audience, because those platforms don't engage with their audience. You see what I'm saying? Are not as
Mm-hmm.
large as those platforms, right? So those platforms have a bigger footprint, right? Which leads to a lot more people being misled, right? So that's why it's imperative that uh, we try to get um, on that level so we can kind of deter a lot of the misinformation and people being misled um, in the right path, because we know why people put those big numbers up.
Mm-hmm.
The, their main objective is to sell you some recycled shit that they bought off Fiverr from somebody in Pakistan in the form of a course that they just rebrand and put their name on it, which is
Right.
basic, you know, copy paste, basic shit that you could just Google. Hey, how do I start a box truck business? Hey, do I start a trucking business? The shit that
Right.
you get on my channel and some other channels in the space is not many of them. I can count on one hand, right, of how many box truck channels that I feel if they went away, the space is done and I have some fingers left over.
Shit.
And I'm not bullshitting you. It's not many. It's a few, but it's not many. So, um,
I hear you. Yeah. But one last question before I go. Um, because I mean, you gave us a full glimpse of how the way you started and how the way you got into business, and I hear you talk about pretty much everything that you went through, all the experiences, the mistakes that you made. So, was you diseducated when you first started your business, or was you less educated?
no, of
You know,
course.
like
I
I mean,
mean,
like how did that process?
as far as my higher education is college, yeah, the college education, yeah, because I was removed from
Okay.
college 7 years when I started. But as far as the
Okay.
education in the space, no way, no way. The education I have in the space come from the years of experience, the years of being in the space, right, learning from in the field, and then learning behind the scenes when I wasn't in the field, educated myself, and even still today, with the knowledge that I have from the years that I have, I still have to educate myself on what's coming in the future, right? Especially if I'm gonna
Right.
create content. When I did my peak season shit the past couple years, um, I had to look at what the current market conditions were, right? I had to look at data, right, to formulate,
Mm-hmm.
my opinion on what I thought peak season. Even though I was faced with adversity, right?
Right.
That was uh the reason why I could present that content. And even though I was presented with a lot of adversity, and I stood tall and stood true, and I was right. That was information, data that I had to seek currently, not data that I had in my head. Why? Because you know volume is based on, the economical climate of the market at that particular time. You see what I'm saying? So even still today, I have to seek information as it pertains to what's going on in the market right now. Getting up here doing content, yeah, it's easy for me because I have a lot of experience, but still when I talk about current things as far as market conditions and things like now, or you ain't gonna see no peak season like I did the last 2 years, that I had to seek
Mm-hmm.
data to substantiate that very controversial and bold forecast that I made. And I did it in a way where people just thought, oh, he's saying that. No, you're not going to see what you expecting to see, which they didn't. You see what I'm saying? So yeah,
Right.
you got to constantly educate yourself. But you're going to get, as you become tenured in the space, and you start to see these gray hairs start popping in. These gray hairs just gonna, this is wisdom. The more you operate, the more you learn. The life experiences, like Paul Smith said, mixed in with the experiences that you learn in business. Every win and every loss is some type of experience that you're gonna put in your back pocket, and it's gonna make you a better person. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
losses in business when you up in operational, they're losses, but you gotta learn from those losses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Different things. Um, so yeah, you can't take nothing for granted in business, bro. So
Yeah.
nothing. Everything and every day um, is a learning lesson. That's why when I get up here and I say a lot of the stuff I'm just saying it from experience. When I tell people don't come in over leveraged with a high cost of entry, I'm telling you that because I've been operating long enough to know that this industry, the margins are tight. You know, you don't
I've
want to
heard
come
that.
in, really high and you don't know what you're doing, especially at the beginning, especially at the competitive landscape it is today, because it's going to be tough for you. Now, some people say don't do it, and I say don't base your business off if a person is going to accept you or not. You got to base your business off your business. Like, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to put myself in a situation where my cost is high, you know, because some people say, well, man, this person ain't gonna mess with you. That person. Listen, I
Yeah.
know it's tough. You know what I'm saying? And just some of the other things that I say, what people may think, oh man, it's outlandish. But no, I'm telling you this because it's true. That's why I don't want to hear no complaining. I don't want to hear nothing about no brokers. I don't want to hear nothing about no rates, because guess what? People been complaining about brokers forever. And guess what?
So,
It's
yeah.
still brokers, right? So why complain about something you can't fix? You'll never fix it. You know why? Because the fact, because I don't say shit just to be saying it, is what? Truckers 40 some years ago lobbied to have free market, free enterprise. You got it. Now here we are 4.5 decades later. This is the result of what you asked for.
Right.
And then when
Appreciate
I
shit all the
said,
time.
people get mad, but at the end of the day, this is what you wanted.
Yeah.
Be careful what you ask for.
Mm-hmm.
You think the government is gonna? It's not in the best interest. Why? Shit is already high. We go to regulation in the form of it was prior to deregulation. What happens? You complaining about goods and stuff now. What you think is gonna happen then? They're gonna go even higher. So when I say, listen, you can't have your cake and eat it too. Either you gonna compete here and save there, or you gonna
Right.
complain here and let's role play and say something did happen. The extra money you making here, you're gonna lose it there. if you can even afford to compete with the people who got more resources than you, who can operate in that old form of regulation, who can buy a specific route on a specific interstate to the point where they're the only one or the only few who can move that specific commodity on that route.
Yeah.
The
I don't know
reason
why
why
people.
so many people exist now is because of that. So if you get what you asked for, now you got to compete. Business is competing. The people who win don't complain, and the people who complain don't win. The people who win don't complain. Shit happens. They figure out a way and they make that shit work.
Gotcha. Yeah. But yeah, I ain't gonna hold you up, man. I mean, I appreciate you for speaking with me, getting with me today. Um, I was out of it last night. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was out of it last night. Um,
It's all
so
good,
I'm
big
on
dog.
today. But yeah, I'm gonna keep you updated. I'm gonna keep you informed, man, on what goes on next, man, for you. So, you know, stay up, big homie.
All right, man. You be safe.
Yes, sir. You too.
All right, man.
All right.
All right. Running Warrior said we adjust quickly. That's all you can do. Exactly. It's all you can do is adjust. You know, the people who win, when shit happens, they adjust quickly. Why? Because that time you spend complaining, Running Warrior is adjusting. And that's the person who's going to win because they didn't waste time complaining. They adjusted. The people who complain, when they finally realize that they got to adjust, it's too late. It's just what it is. Here come you want the money or not. The company revenue grows after firing a driver only because they are public and traded against the downside. Listen, it is what it is. That's business. So what I said earlier, it is what it is. People fire people, the revenue goes up, better return on investments. It is what it is. The whole objective is to build a business and elevate yourself from what you're complaining about. You're in the rat race, you want to start a business, you're going to become who you complain about. You're going to continuously, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, elevate yourself up and up and up out of that to becoming an investor and then not having feelings on what's going on down there. So it is what it is. It's all about business is about return on investment. That's it. That's it. Anybody that doesn't understand this, to me, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Educate yourself or get left behind. Business is about return on investment. It's about revenue. That's it. That's all. The higher ups, that's all they care about. If you are a business owner, that's what you should care about. Getting a return on your investment. See you guys later on. Peace. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Thank you for watching. Peace.